So school's back in session. Fall is bringing just slightly cooler weather, but as always, the news in Vegas stays hot. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, I'm joined by Deputy Editor of the Nevada Current, April Corbin-Gurnis, and our own CityCast producer, Layla Muhammad, and we're talking the local backlash seemingly against anyone who says anything negative about Charlie Kirk's death. The Nevada energy rate hike is moving forward, and it is complicated. And a scorned lover's lawsuit raises the question, was his decade-long relationship with an exotic dancer just a scam? It's Friday, September 19th. I'm David Figler, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Layla and April, welcome to our Friday News Roundup.
Happy Friday!
Good morning.
Oh man, every Friday just comes on so quick. It just seems like time is moving faster than time. Do you get what I'm saying there? You know, it's like, where are we? We're in the middle of September and the year is 2025. I have no clue how any of that happened.
No, I think especially towards the end of the year, the months all start to breeze by.
Yeah, it's a blur in my brain and it's a blur everywhere I look. But we've got some news to talk about. And, you know, on Friday News Roundup, we always like to start with a hot headline. Come on,
headline.
Guys. Thank you.
I don't think I've ever done that before.
I'm used to Sarah doing it.
I know.
Here.
Layla, I'm just going to say this. You nailed it. So this week's hot headline, the story that we're not going to go too in depth on, but which was in our eyes a little noteworthy, is that we do have a new city council person in the city of Las Vegas replacing the abruptly resigned Victoria Seaman. This is going to be an appointment by the city council to save what has been estimated to be $800,000 that would have been required for a special election that wouldn't have been held until December. The new council person is going to be a short timer because they had to agree, even though it's not binding, to not run in the next election cycle, which is next year. So the person that they selected was Kara Kelly. And Kara Kelly's name might be familiar to longtime Las Vegans. She's probably most remembered for her time heading up the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce. She also serves on the Colorado Water Board. It was really interesting. I watched the whole thing as a geek I am. Do you guys follow this at all?
Only if I have to. No, sorry, to be honest.
That's fair.
I haven't followed it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Animal Foundation's funding. I know that's there's a proposal for that, and Victoria Seaman was their champion. So we'll see.
Was she their champion or was she their greatest critic? I can't remember anymore.
I mean, a little bit of both, I guess.
She was the greatest champion for the four-legged animals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Champion of the animals.
It will be interesting to see if Kara Kelly decides to run. Like you said, it's non-binding.
She's not going to.
And she's not going to, you think? It's
No.
happened before in other cities where they've said, this is short term. But then they come back like a few months later and they're like, all of the constituents love me. And they actually asked me to run. So, I mean, maybe she won't. Hopefully I hope that's not the case. All
right. Well, let's move on to our first story. Charlie Kirk's death, the conservative provocateur who traveled from campus to campus, of course, was murdered recently in Utah. But the crackdown on anything negative about Mr. Kirk has implications here locally. April, you've been following this for the Nevada Current. What's this all about?
Yeah, so since the fatal shooting on September 10th, in the week and a half since then, there has been a coordinated effort across the country to demand the firings of people who have, quote, celebrated, unquote, Kirk's death. Nevada has not been immune to this wave of, you might say, cancel culture. According to reporting that we've done at the Nevada Current, an unknown number of public teachers, a realtor, a radio broadcaster, a pizzeria worker, and late night host Jimmy Kimmel are among the Nevadans who've been fired or are facing reprimand for social media posts that they've made in the wake of the shooting. So probably most noteworthy, other than Kimmel, obviously, because he's a national figure, is CCSD. The superintendent of CCSD said that she has removed from the classroom teachers whose posts were inappropriate. those teachers have not been.
Wait.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry to interrupt you. You said post. So this is not something that's going on in the classrooms. This is something outside the classrooms that these teachers or educators are getting in trouble for?
Correct. So this is not about behavior that has occurred within the classroom. What has happened is that teachers have made posts primarily on their own personal Facebook pages, also sometimes on other people's Facebook pages, basically in comments between other adults in conversations like you do on Facebook. And then those have been screenshotted and flagged by people, and they have been sent to the district. The district has said that they've gotten thousands of emails and social media comments and social media DMs about these teachers. And so some of them, we don't know how many of them, have been removed from the classroom. The union is looking into it also. They have not commented on the situation.
The teachers union, yeah.
The teachers union, yeah. And some groups that are pushing for the firings of these teachers, like Moms for Liberty, Clark County, they have said that some of the teachers they want fired are still in the classroom. So they are still actively pushing for those teachers to be fired. It's kind of an ongoing situation, and we don't have the time here for me to read all of the sort of offending posts. If you go to Nevada Current's story, you can read them. We've posted the comments that people have made, the offending comments, so that people can understand what it is these groups want people fired for. They range the gamut from people who are saying pretty crass things about enjoying watching the video of Kirk being shot to what I would classify as far more innocuous, sort of calling him a piece of trash, using foul language, a piece of shit, basically. I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
Those are the quotes. And I want to be clear,
Yeah.
we're walking this fine line. We are media.
Yeah.
We're reporting on news. And I did follow your story, April, and it also led me to these very formal lawyer letters from some very prominent names in the community, including people like Sig Rogich, who has a school named after him, and his wife, State Senator Lori Rogich, making comments that, educators need to be removed, that we can't trust our kids with these people. And I don't know, this feels like something new. I don't think I've ever seen so much scrutiny on what people are saying on social media, of all things, about a controversial figure's death. Why do you think this is, Layla?
I think part of the reason why the reaction to what people are saying in social media posts has been so intense is like the deep political divide we're seeing right now. There was a Pew Research study from March this year that found 80% of Americans say Republicans and Democrats don't just disagree on policy, but they can't even agree on basic facts. So that kind of polarization means like every statement, especially anything that is politically charged or about politically charged figures like Kirk, gets magnified and can quickly spark some serious consequences from institutions.
I heard you say magnified, but I also heard in my ear magnified.
I didn't say it.
Well, I'll say it that I think, and I covered protests in 2020 during the height of the pandemic when there were the anti-lockdown people, the anti-COVID, anti-vax people, and they called for people's heads. I covered the sort of anti-woke, critical race theory, let's cancel these teachers because they're teaching this and that. That's happened for years. The same sort of groups pushing for teachers to be fired. This is the first time I've seen that CCSD has acted on it. And I think that, to answer your question, it's emboldened by the fact that the president is also calling for what is essentially retribution for criticism from, the political left. And when you see the president on there, when you see the vice president going on Charlie Kirk's podcast and saying we are going to go after nonprofits who support this, when you see that from officials,
when they say this is what gets me, right?
Yeah. Well, when you see that from the highest levels, of course, it's going to trickle down and it's going to have a much more strong impact at the local level, and which we're seeing in heavy force right now.
I don't know, April. Is this a sign of how much more influential groups like Moms for Liberty have become in the Clark County School District?
Absolutely. I mean, the last election cycle brought to this board of trustees 2 members who were closely tied to Moms for Liberty Clark County. One of them founded it. Another one was a member until she took office. So they were heavily involved in that and definitely ideologically aligned with that. So it does seem like there's a wave happening sort of at all political levels when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Then on the other hand, you have Stations Casino, right? And there was some controversy quickly about them putting up signs, even temporarily, that said in loving memory of Charlie Kirk, where, Charlie Kirk is not somebody who is normally associated with Las Vegas. It's not like when Elaine Wynn died or, when they dimmed the lights when Sammy Davis Jr. passed away, people who have a long-standing connection to our community. What does this say or not say about Las Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, I think the station situation says a lot about who owns station casinos and the people leading that more than it is a reflection of Las Vegas as a whole.
I think from being a student at UNLV, one of the things that was so celebrated in the Las Vegas community was our diversity. Being a Las Vegas native and thinking about our community is so diverse and celebrating that. On the other side of things, taking into account that we're a swing state, to me, the statement that Station Casinos is making is that, Charlie Kirk was very important to a certain demographic of people. And maybe that demographic of people has a lot of say on what gets put up on marquees on locals' casinos. And so it kind of, as a Las Vegas local, it makes me see okay, he was important to them in some aspect while he was alive, and his message hit them to some extent.
Yeah. It's politicizing, the horrific and unexcusable, unjustifiable murdering of another person before we even know the motives of what it is. And a side or another side is being drawn into this debate. And just to follow up, Stations Casino purportedly got threats from someone in the community, someone from Henderson, saying that they're going to come after them if they keep these marquees up. And then I think quietly Stations Casino removed them. So just a really treacherous time in history, and the fact that we're talking about it as it impacts Las Vegas, which it has, shows that, really no part of our country is able to avoid these type of conversations. And, it gives us all a little bit of pause. The hottest night of the year is back. AFAN's 39th annual Black and White Party taking over Chaos Nightclub inside the Palms Casino Resort on Saturday, September 20th. This year's Wild West-themed celebration is hosted by Frederick Godinez and Alexander Stabler of the design studio Frederick Alexander, and it's your chance to experience an unforgettable night of fashion, entertainment, and community. The entertainment for the evening is stacked. Simone and Mirage from RuPaul's Drag Race, Fantasy, David Hernandez and Kyle Koo from American Idol, the cast of Piranha and Gypsy nightclubs, the Chippendales, and more. Proceeds support Aid for AIDS of Nevada's critical programs, providing housing, transportation, food, and medical case management for those living with or affected by HIV/AIDS. Visit afanlv.org to learn more and purchase your tickets today. That's afanlv.org. The Rita Deenan Abbey Art Museum presents RDA Performs, its inaugural season of 4 intimate concerts where architecture, art, and music converge. With just 75 seats per performance, this boutique series transforms the museum into a resonant, living gallery of sound. The season's 4 live performances include piano portraits, a piano duet dialogue, ancient echoes, Baroque music and modern resonance, Broadway reimagined, and desert sounds, rain spell. Each concert offers a singular artistic expression where space, silence, and sound are part of the story. RDA Performs. It's a collaboration between the Rita Deenan Abbey Art Museum and international award-winning pianist Alexandria Lee, the series artistic director. For more information and to purchase a subscription series, visit ritadeenanabbeymuseum.org. We've been gearing up for an NV Energy rate hike for some time, but now it's happening. Layla, I think I'm a smart person, but I'm having trouble with it. Help me understand what just happened with our Public Utilities Commission.
Okay, bear with me here. I'm going to try to explain it as simple as possible. So on Tuesday, state energy regulators approved requests from NV Energy as part of their general rate case filing that they do every 36 months. But this time they did it without public discussion or debate because of the state cyber attack. They had state websites were down. There was a public comment meeting that was rescheduled, and they voted before I think their website even came back online. So I'm going to focus on the requests that are going to affect our energy bills for us here in Southern Nevada. But there is great reporting by Amy Alonso in the Nevada Independent that really breaks down how this is going to affect us statewide. So starting in April, in addition to paying our volumetric charge and basic service fee charge, NV Energy will also require a daily demand charge for residential customers. The daily demand charge will take the customer's highest 15-minute period of energy usage in a day, and then times it by 4 to get an hourly rate and multiply that by the cost per kilowatt per day. Now, NV Energy is...
Oh, that totally is an easy to understand
Oh,
formula.
okay.
Right.
Got it. Yeah, sure.
So what's the lesson there? Watch your 15 minutes, y'all. That's the time not to be running the blender while you're filling your pool, I guess.
Right. So for example, if you're getting home at 5:30 and your highest energy usage is between 5:30 and 5:45, that 15-minute increment will decide your daily demand charge for that day. So NV Energy is lowering the per kilowatt cost. So the volumetric charge on our bills, aka the total amount of energy used each month, will likely be lowered. But the Public Utility Commission of Nevada, aka the PUCN, who regulates NV Energy and Southwest Gas, said the intent is to enable many residential customers to experience lower bills without reducing their energy usage. At the same time, which I thought was so interesting, quoted in this Nevada Independent article, the commission also stated that they share the concerns by many ratepayers that the costs of everything are increasing. However, the economic pressures that are increasing costs at the grocery store and doctor's office are increasing costs for Nevada Power, aka NV Energy. So another part
Let's
of
all
this,
take a breath there. That's a
Yeah.
lot of...
Ooh, that was a lot.
exactly.
That was
So
a
I
lot.
have one more note on how this is affecting our energy bills. There are multiple requests in this packet that was submitted by NV Energy. Some were denied, some were approved. Not all are primarily focused on Southern Nevada customers, but one that is that Southern Nevada energy customers will also pay for a large portion of construction of a legally mandated $4.2 billion transmission line called Greenlink that will most likely look like an increase on our bills of about like $4.35 or $4.42. And, all this is happening while NV Energy had that scandal of overcharging customers and reports of investors, Berkshire Hathaway, using funds for business-related expenses. And you can hear more of that in our episode that we recently did with energy advocates in the state about the scandals going down at NV Energy right now.
Yeah, I mean, this decision is not being popularly received by
No.
the public. They're basically calling PU on the PUCN. How are energy consumers' lives, you think, likely to change after this recent action?
In my opinion, reading how this is going to affect our bills, it seems like across the board, a lot of people's energy bills will go up. If you have experience dealing with NV Energy, a lot of customers don't look at, what is my volumetric rate for this month? Or what was let me make sure the basic service fee was charged to me correctly. Not a lot of people are going line by line in their energy bills like this. So I think stories like this are really important to let customers know, like, hey, you are seeing a change in your bills and this is why. And maybe you should be able to comment on it if the PUCN's website ever gets back up.
Here's the thing. It's like, I feel bad for all of the people who are struggling and who will automatically assume, as one might, that if I use less energy, my bill's going to go down, right? like say you're struggling for money because you lost your job or whatever sort of economic factors are at play. I know a ton of people who've been in that situation and they go, guess what? I'm going to set my thermostat to a higher because I need to save money. But now under this new structure, being that it's not just on what you use, and it's like, I like to call it surge pricing. It seems very similar to that, where it's related to the highest amount. Like, how do you plan around that and say, okay, well, I need to save money. I want my energy bill to go down. In the past, I'll just live at 80 degrees or I'll just live at 84 or whatever. There's people who keep it really high so that they can do that.
But it sounds like now you have to do that for 24 hours. And if you only do that for 23 hours and 45 minutes, you're screwed.
Exactly.
Kind of like looking at it across the board, trying to lower your energy rate, which is really confusing because you don't know what, you have to really look at like, okay, do I have 5 appliances plugged in right now? Oh, this is going to be the moment that
I don't know when my bad 15 is. I don't know how to adjust for that.
And I just looked. I didn't want to know. I just looked up. PUCN's website is now up.
Oh, thank God.
I saw reports that some functions may still be down.
Cybertech related, do you think?
Yeah.
That's a story that doesn't fully get told either. But back to the energy rate hike. I mean, we did that podcast, Layla, and, we talked a lot about, first of all, we did invite NV Energy repeatedly through one of their spokespersons to come on and defend what's going on. They didn't get back to us at all. And we also pointed out that NV Energy, the way that it goes, they are a for-profit and they are beholden to shareholders. It was also pointed out that, energy bills are rising at twice the rate of inflation now, which is also very interesting. So are there clear winners and losers here?
I think NV Energy is clearly winning. They wouldn't...
Well, they didn't get everything they wanted.
They didn't get everything they wanted, but...
Yeah. I think... one of the losers and an aspect of this story that I didn't get into, but some of the losers are going to be solar customers because of how they are charged. They're charged by, I believe, net usage, which is a whole nother thing that I'm not going to get into, but their bills are likely to see the most change from this. I think the point that no investor-owned utility in the country has demand charges for residential customers also shows that we're kind of being guinea pigs in Nevada to see how this is going to go, how this is going to affect energy users in Nevada. Big businesses already pay a demand charge in the state. So
like the casinos.
Like the casinos.
So they're kind of treating like individual apartment dwellers as casino owners.
It is interesting. Why am I getting charged why is my payment structure similar to a casino's payment structure? I don't think that sounds fair. But I think also the implications for solar users, there were some change in billing requests from NV Energy that were denied by the PUCN for low-income users and solar users. But I think the daily demand charge could disproportionately affect solar users.
April, do you think that this is going to drive people into the streets protesting? Or you think we're just going to suck it up?
We're going to suck it up.
Yeah.
There's enough to be on the streets for. We can add it to it. We can add some more signs. But no, probably not. People they will read Amy's amazing story that did break down that, and it'll glaze over and be like, well, I don't understand this. So I guess I'll just see what happens. That's kind of my perspective. I'm like,
odds are we're going to end up paying a little bit more on our energy bills.
And everything else.
All right, our final story, romance on the rocks. So this is like, a Vegas-only story in a lot of ways. And honestly, it does come up every now and again. Early in my law career, I actually represented a Romanian doctor who was accused by a tangential member of the Wynn family that they had been scammed into paying for.
So many lives you have lived, Mr. Figler.
I know it's true, but this is the latest. An Arkansas businessman, a very successful Arkansas businessman, though I was unable to find out where he made all his money back there in Arkansas, met a Las Vegas woman who was working as a dancer at a strip club. When they hit it off, and embarked upon a decade-long relationship where, according to the businessman, he had been lied to and misled, and in the interim, he had given her millions of dollars, which he did. Let's just say that's the one fact that's undisputed in this entire litigation is that he bought her a house. There are a lot of personal checks that were sent her, literally in the millions, starting in 2014. Well, here we are in 2025, and he has found out, to his shock, that this dancer was not true blue to him the entire time. That she had other romantic interests besides the Arkansas businessman, and now he has filed a lawsuit saying that, I want my money back. He's literally asking for his money back, but not just his money back. He wants to punish her and her friends, and is also suing for punitive damages in the amount of, I don't know, take a guess how much she's asking in punitive damages. So he wants his couple of million that he spent on her back. But how much do you think he wants in punitive damages? Just take a guess, because I know neither one of you read the story.
Like $5 million.
Okay, good guess.
$1.
No, he wants punitive damages in the amount of $35 million.
35?
Yes, just to teach her a lesson.
I was going
That's a
Price
lot
is
of
Right
lap
rules.
dances for her to come up with that money.
Is
and
there
I
a
don't
way that
believe
that's calculated, like punitive damages? Like, how does they land on
you
that?
ask for it, it's pie in the sky. I mean, this is how litigation works. And, frankly, first of all, let me ask you, do you think there should be a statute of limitations on reclaiming gifts from someone who basically didn't love you like I love you?
Oh,
I don't even understand. I did read the story, David, even if I didn't remember one specific fact. Is that what is the scam? Like, what is the scam? Like,
she allegedly misrepresented her intentions and suggested to him that this was a monogamous, loving, healthy relationship, when in fact he knows now that she was catching other people's affections on the side.
Yeah, but cheating doesn't change anything. What?
What has she said? Has she said that this was a relationship?
Her attorneys are basically saying this guy knows what he was getting into, and this is just the nature of modern relationships, and this is all, quote unquote, sour grapes, that it can't continue.
Yeah.
I don't know. Imagine a world where love law allows anyone to sue a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever for something that happened during the relationship. What other love-based lawsuits do you think we might start seeing?
I think divorce courts will have a huge spike in men suing women for gaining weight after they have babies.
Oh.
And those women will countersue for men going bald.
Ooh, that's a good one. Also emotional damage.
And you're saying this like both gaining weight and going bald, by the way, you're hitting me where I live, are bad things.
You didn't promise me. When I met you 10 years ago, you had a head of hair, and now you don't.
Well,
so
that's my saving grace, is that everyone I've dated has dated me as a bald man, because it basically started when I was 17. So, yeah, fair
bald
enough.
is beautiful, just for the record. Don't cancel me. Bald is beautiful. Mm-hmm. I love my husband.
Stop
also.
flirting with me, April. Okay, Layla, what are some love lawsuits?
I think I saw this dynamic being portrayed online of a couple that broke up in shared custody of their dog. Mm-hmm. So I think there are a lot of love lawsuits that could come out of pet custody. Because
these are already happening. I wanted you guys to get wild with it, because both of you, on some level, more you, Layla, than you, April, that's already happening. People are going, they're spending
for pets?
all their money over who gets, Fido.
I did not know that
bad.
people went to court for pets. I mean, I knew child custody was a thing, but I didn't know.
In many ways, I have said I'd rather do death penalty defense work than deal with a couple fighting over a dog.
What I love is that photo that you always see floating around when people talk about divorce court, where it's the two, it's the couple splitting up their beanie bag or their beanie baby collection.
Yes.
Exactly. I think,
that, but with Labubus or whatever's called popular now.
I mean, if you have a Labubu collection, that's in a few years, that's probably going to be worth millions of
Yes,
dollars.
yes,
so that
yes.
would
Okay.
need to go
Just
to
like
court.
the Beanie Babies.
I'm going to take my question in the spirit it was intended. And I'm going to say that if these type of lawsuits become even more commonplace, I think we're going to start seeing romantic partners suing each other over eating food off of each other's plates. And that there's going to be a tally, and that you're going to have to do a commensurate number of meals that you're not allowed to touch. In other words, you take a French fry off your partner's plate, and that partner was like, I'm still eating it. That fight is universal. But now it's compensable. So every time
So these people
Those
are
are
breaking
fighting
up.
words, David.
Yeah,
Those
this
are
is
fighting
not a
words.
relationship
Exactly.
that's going to last.
All right. Well,
Oh,
let's
no.
hope it doesn't come to that. Now we could all just work it out through couples counseling. April and Layla, thank you so much for joining me on the Friday News Roundup. It's a lot to get through, but I'm glad we ended on a fun note.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thanks, y'all.
And before we go, we've got our membership program called Neighbors, and you could become a neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. And one of the great perks, and there are so many perks to it, is that you get to shout out a local business or, someone who locally has meant a lot to you. And we've got a bunch. So, Layla, you want to hit some of the ones that just came in recently?
Yeah, so our friend Shira A has another food rec for us.
Yay! I like that we're giving her a double-double here.
Yeah, we love Shira. So El Tamalucas on Las Vegas Boulevard in North Las Vegas, across from Broad Acres. She
Go
says
Broad
they
Acres.
have amazing tamales and birria tacos and are run by the nicest family. Her insider tip, they get very busy at lunchtime, get there early because they do sell out. Great tip.
Ooh.
All right, and then the next one, Chris S. loves the Henderson Bird Viewing Preserve. Same. She loves how calm it is and adds, you see different birds every time, and sometimes, if you're lucky, you see the tortoise.
Aw.
And if you're really lucky, you'll see the tourists flying.
Okay, I don't know about that, but that's very
Okay.
exciting. Lastly, Scott D has a Henderson rec for us. Shaded by a spreading mesquite, the patio at the coffee class in Henderson is perfect for your morning brown butter toffee latte. Oh, wow, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, yummy
Ooh.
shout out. And you could get a shout out for a local business too. All you have to do is become a neighbor. Go to membership.citycast.fm. That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. Our executive producer is Sonia Cho Swanson. Our producer is Layla Muhammad. Our newsletter editor is Rob Kacheris. And our roving newsletter editors this week were Natalia Aldana and Adrian Gonzalez. Our hosts are Sarah Lohman and me, David Figler. Music is by OG Moose, Epidemic Sound, and All the Kimonos. We record the show on the traditional homelands of the Nuuvi, the Southern Paiute people. If you enjoyed the show, hey, go tell a friend. You could also rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Las Vegas. Don't forget, you can support this show and get some great perks by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Till then, stay lucky.
David was over-caffeinated yesterday.
Over-caffeinated.
Oh.
Because Ray left early and she didn't take any coffee, so I drank an entire pot. And then I went to go work at my coffee shop and I had some espresso and I was like,
I didn't know
I
that
just
part.
fucked up.